Now, I feel that exploring why we often experience failure as such a painful experience is a really meaningful thing to do, because I feel like a lot of the answers that we're looking for in life is in just understanding that. And, it's kind of interesting because there are areas in our lives where failure is acceptable, and then there are areas in our life where failure is not. And that actually shows really like a lot. And what you'll notice is that the areas in your life where failure is acceptable are in areas where you are not worried about other people, where you're just doing something you enjoy and it's really just for you, whether it's doing art or whether it's, playing music is kind of a hit and miss, and so is art, but like basically where you're doing something because you really enjoy it and it didn't really occur to you that you were doing it for someone else, and whatever it is. And so it's kind of interesting because in any activity in your life, you'll notice that you have some area where you really don't worry about failing. And so, and you'll find that it's because you're not worried about what other people are thinking. Now, you might think that you're doing a hobby, but you're berating yourself when you fail and you're so hard on yourself. And what you'll notice is that somewhere along the line, down maybe in the far, far future, you have this idea that you may need to show it to someone, or that you need to present it. And or maybe your parent's gonna maybe ask about it, or your spouse is gonna ask you about it, or someone. And you'll realize that if as long as someone is involved in your mind, that you'll be hard on yourself. And in the reason, is because failure, when we were learning it in relation to other people, was painful. We would do something and then we would get feedback about our behavior, so that we wouldn't do it again, oftentimes in relation to parents. And, not that that's a bad thing. It's like when you've been a parent, you understand that you don't necessarily always have the opportunity or the chance to do it in a way that accounts for your child's feelings. Or if you've ever been in a teaching position, you understand that. And so social norm is not bad. It's actually kind of just one of those things that is inevitable for all of us to get along in society. But as a consequence, our needs that doesn't meet social norm gets left out, of course. And so and we have all experiences, painful experiences, where our needs or the way who we are, it was out of the norm, and because it fell outside the normal range, we got rejected and we got feedback that that's not appropriate and that we shouldn't be doing it. And then that gets interpreted as we're bad. Of course, that's an easy thing to happen. And so because of that, failure becomes bad because we're told that we're doing damage to either ourselves or to other people, mostly really to other people, and so we shouldn't be doing that. And so somehow that creeps into even the things that we do, but there's some areas where it doesn't count, and it's just kind of interesting because we get lucky, we fall into those areas and we just start something and we find it enjoyable and we do it, and because other people are not in view, somehow we bypass that entire mechanism. But if we understand that, then we can actually create some safety. We can realize the reason we're berating ourselves and we're so hard to ourselves is because we're trying to not disappoint other people. And when we understand that, then we can start being nicer for ourselves because we realize, oh, hang on a second. I'm not doing this for someone else. And then you can become more conscious about that learning endeavor. And even if it is, we can understand that the only reason we were punishing ourselves, or we were trying to feel as much pain about the failure as possible, was so that we wouldn't fail again. Now, of course, that prevents us from learning and going through the actual failures we need to really understand the subject. And so, anyways, so that's a little bit just a further exploration on why failure is so painful, and hopefully that gave you some new insights to navigate through this, and actually just bring learning and growth into an arena of play, where you do it for yourself, where you realize that you're not really doing it for someone else, or when you do feel the pressure of other people, that you can quiet that a little bit. And hopefully you find that helpful. Thank you.